BBL surgically removed. So in part one, I was telling y'all how my sit down ear was stinking real bad, and it got to the point to where I had to carry around a bottle of air freshener or a bottle of perfume because when I would use public restrooms, it would stink so bad. It was like an embarrassment. I didn't want to come out the bed smelling like that and someone else was leaving everywhere. When I say that BBL really ruined my life, I even lost my boyfriend to that. He was telling me the whole time, like, you're stinking real bad down here and I can't stomach it. First I'm in denial, like, no, you're hating, you're mad, I got a BBL. It was the truth. It got to the point to where I would be washing my laundry, weekly, like I've been doing before I got the BBL. When I would get my laundry out of the dryer, it would still smell like that rotten eating flesh. I really was like, so this one day, me and my boyfriend, we getting ready, to do something. So this is part two on why I had to get my BBL certified.
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect and all the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Thamarian from GMS Toronto coming at you with another video. This is Eve. This is the state of Eve right now. All right. A lot of them are stinking, man, because of this phenomenon that happened a couple of years ago, mainly over a decade ago. All right, after the whole Kim Kardashian wave came, right? A lot of them went and got cheap BBLs, right, where they suck out the fat and put it in, suck out the fat from different areas of your body and put it in, your ass or whatever the case may be, the Brazilian butt lift, right? And this has been going on for a long time in Brazil, but it became a phenomenon over here in the West, all right, where the so-called black woman, right, she took over because the white women they were the first ones to get BBLs, right? But you never hear them complain about it being stink because they do the real stuff, right? They get the massages and all that stuff, right? So the fat won't just lumped up in one place. And when you think about this is a person who's sick, man. This is a person with mental health issues, with demons on her. And how many of them died trying to get tummy tucks and all that stuff? Which they can always use that money and pay for a trainer, right? Who would, pretty much train them, get them in shape, right? Have their heart in good conditions while get a body, right? Because these women, they all want instant gratification, right? They want to go right now under the knife, get a booty that's not theirs, and then come back and wait 6 months, right? Wait 6 months and then pop out and start walking around and have everyone watching and lusting after their bodies. And after a while, these bodies didn't even look good. They look like ants, right? Like insects with a big ass thorax and the skinny ass legs, right? But this is the people who had a great body, right? Our people always had great bodies, especially the women, right? Our women always had amazing bodies. So the fact that they're doing these things, it has to be a mental health issue. A lot of them are doing it to trap men, but now it backfired on you because now a lot of you women just stink, right? You so-called black women, because of the BBL, you stink. And even before the BBL, you stink, right? So, like, let's get Isaiah 3. Instead of sweet smell, right? And how does this apply to the Jewish woman? I don't know, right? Isaiah 3. I'll just get Isaiah 3 and get right down to the point, because it talks about your hair being, falling off, not having a well set hair, right? This is Isaiah 3 and Yeah, and 17, and it says, actually no, 16. This is what happened to you, okay? This is why all these things happened to you, because your pride had to be broken, right? Isaiah 3 and 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion, which is you so-called black women, the Negro, Latino, and Native American woman, right? But the daughters of Zion, the so-called black woman, right? This is the representation. She always lead the charge, right? Of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks, and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet, right? So let's get that word haughty. It says arrogantly superior and disdainful, right? That's how they that's how they look down on you so-called black men now, right? But with all their arrogance and their disdain that they have for you, they still smell like shit. Imagine that, your own woman who smell like shit still look down on you, man. That's some serious hate and some serious curse, man, that the Lord put upon us. Verse 17, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. And now we're seeing, that hair. The Lord took away their hair, and before the BBLs, it was the hair that was stinking, right? So the Lord is plaguing you, so-called black women, man, right? Took off your hair, right? Gave you fucking big ass stomachs, right? Says here you'll discover your secret parts, because right now all these the so-called black women does, even the Latino women, right? They walk around with their damn stomach outside, their ass outside, right? That's a shame unto a nation, man. In the day of the Lord, in that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their cauls and their round tires like the moon. So their ornaments, right? Their jewelry, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers. Because at one point, the so-called black woman, she was a sight to behold, man, right? And so some of them still are the ones that are, the Lord didn't really curse too much, right? It says here the bonnets and the ornaments and the leg and the headbands and the tablets, right? And the earrings and the rings and nose jewels, right? The changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and wimples and the crisping pins, the glass and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. This is the main point. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be a stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness. So all this is coming from adultery too, because when you go back into the law, when it talks about a jealous and a jealous husband, right? I think Numbers, the 5th chapter, right? When the curse go upon him, when the husband takes her to the priest and and give her that water to drink, right? And it swells her thighs, make her stomach to get big as hell, right? Now we don't need to go to the priest. They're doing it to themselves. Cottage cheese, right? When women sleep around, this is what happens, man, right? Multiple husbands will do this to you too. And instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of stomacher, a girdle of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty, right? A lot of them are fat. A lot of them are out of shape. That's the reason why they go and get the BBLs, right? Instead of burning, and burning instead of beauty, right? Ugly, man. Let me see what the word burning here means. On fire. Okay. I thought it was gonna give me another definition of the word. Let me see if there's something else that pops up. A burning building, burning desert sand, nearly or deeply felt, intense. Okay. It says here, very, very keenly or deeply felt, intense, right? So something flavorous, right? It says here, the men shall fall by the sword, and the mighty men in war, and her gates shall lament and mourn. She being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Right? And now we're seeing the lowness of our people, man, and mainly our women, right? And that's who we have raising our children, right? The low mindset of our women, man. They go and buy fake hair, put it on their head. Hair that comes from India, hair that comes from Brazil, hair that comes from dead people, right? And now I know some women who, but I know a woman who actually died. She just had a baby, went to Dominican Republic, didn't tell her husband, went to go do some kind of surgery, and she died. Came back here and died. So, this is all curses, man. Right? They don't like the way they look, but they don't want to do anything about it. At the same time, the Lord's the one putting all these demons on them, right? Because this shows you how destroyed our nation is. When the woman's out of order, the whole nation's out of order. Shalom.